The auditor's current performance, would you say is going to be highlighted in your campaign?
Certainly there's going to be a number of things that we will look at that he has done differently than I probably would do them, and as the campaign rolls along here, I'll make specific examples of things that I would do differently. But yes, there will be a contrast part to how I would do the job versus how the current auditor is doing the job.
You've been critical of Jobs Ohio, so has Dave Yost. Is that a point of contention? Is that going to become a problem in the campaign?
Well, the books of Jobs Ohio just closed here at the beginning of September. I made that point. Unfortunately, the auditor did not complete an audit prior to that, so we've seen him issue a lot of subpoenas. It would seem that it would have been wise to complete the audit of Jobs Ohio before the books closed due to the legislative action. So yes, I think that certainly is not the right way to act. If I was in that office, I would have completed the audit in a more timely manner and made sure that I had all the information to give a full accounting to the public. I don't think that's happened to date. It's discouraging, and I think an auditor should make sure that they're finishing things in a timely manner so they have all the information to give a full accounting to the taxpayers.
The Republicans said you voted for Kevin Boyce and you're unfit for office. What do you have to say about that?
A number of ridiculous statements that seem to come out of the GOP because they don't want to have an evidence-based conversation about anything they're working on. Jobs Ohio is a perfect example where they don't want to talk about government in secret because they know nobody wants government in secret. So instead of responding in a substantive way to it, they'll throw barbs. This is just another example of that.
Outside of Jobs Ohio, are there other agencies or places where you think the auditor is not doing a thorough enough job?
I highlighted in my remarks some concerns I have with respect to water and soil here in the state of Ohio. That's a concern. Obviously, with almost half of your state tax dollars going to health care issues, I just think that my expertise compared to the current auditor are much more significant. Obviously, having somebody in the office who knows where to look for the problems in state government is one of the most critical roles out of an auditor. As a healthcare attorney at Porter Wright, one of the most well-known firms in the state, and somebody who has represented physicians for a dozen years, I'm going to have a better idea of where to look and where to find taxpayer money that's not being spent wisely.
All the other Democratic, candidates for Republican now announced their campaigns, and you're the last one. Is there a certain reason why you waited until now to announce?
For me, there was a number of different things that I was working on. This was just the right time for me, so I can't really choose what the timing is for others, but this was the right time for me. That's why I'm doing it today.
You represent neighborhoods that attend the Columbus Public Schools. Obviously, the auditor has taken aim at those schools through his auditing process. What do you make of the audits of the school attendance issue?
The auditor hasn't completed an audit report as of yet, so it's difficult to draw conclusions until a report is finalized. So at this point, I'm going to wait until he actually completes a report. Then that's the appropriate time to start drawing conclusions from the report. So at this point, until he finalizes it, I can't really comment on that.
Was it wise for him to get involved the way he did?
Again, until the report's done, I think it's difficult to know exactly what the motivations were, what's come of it. I think there clearly are concerns about the Columbus City schools, and now we need to wait and see what the final report is and then try to draw conclusions from the work that has been done there. And at this point, I just think it's premature to do that.
I mentioned the apportionment board. How big a part of your campaign do you see that as?
Certainly it's going to be something that I'm talking about readily. I think the Congress is the poster child for unwillingness to compromise on substantive public policy issues. The General Assembly, I think, is less known by the general public, but it's just as big of a problem. Republicans aren't getting along with Republicans, let alone Republicans working with Democrats. And so that's because these districts have been drawn in such a way to elect people with ideological ideas instead of who realize it's their job to actually get something done for the taxpayers. And so until you fix the ailing democracy, it's going to be difficult to get a number of the substantive issues completed that we need to be working on. And so it's certainly going to be something I'm talking about.
What's the current auditor's role in that?
He sat on the apportionment board. He signed off on the districts that we currently have. The current auditor is complaining about the legislature closing its books. Well, he drew the lines that got these people elected who voted not to allow transparency in government. The governor is complaining about the legislature not going along with him on Medicaid expansion. Well, he drew the lines that elected these individuals who are unwilling to make a determination to help 275,000 more people in Ohio get coverage. So they need to look at themselves and realize they're the reason why this legislature is so unwilling to work together and get things done that are in the best interest of the taxpayer.
It seems like a lot of your speech was more aimed at criticizing the government.